Right, I think it's the 13th of September 2024, and I want to give you an update of today's problems, because I can tell you now I'm not very fucking happy at the moment. Let's start with at home, shall we? Actually, at home hasn't been too bad, but there has been a dog barking claiming that I've molested and raped Sadie, and claiming that I've had sex or been in a relationship with Stephanie Jill, or Hill, and also claiming that I've had sex with Amy Weston when I haven't. Telling me that I'm going to the fire of hell because of this, without verifying the facts first. So obviously the creator's being a corrupt bastard there. While wanking and coming, loud bikes, timed wanking and coming. That's happened every single time I've wanked and come this year, or at least since January. There's a couple of dog barks to say that you're being knife dead, or that you're being murdered, or that you're being shot dead, and ha ha ha. And there's been a couple of animal voice sounds, whether it be bird tweets, crow sounds or seagulls, telling me that I'm getting sexually abused as a child in my next life, while going ha 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 at the same time. As far as threats go, I don't recall there being many threats at all. It's actually been quite a quiet night. There was one, I don't know if it's seagulls on the roof making noise or a gunshot sound, but certainly there was one time period where it didn't sound very good. And then obviously that is basically it for being at home. Right, so before I go into any recordings, to mention today's problems, catalytic converter hot point, there must be a car set up. Oh, 2 cars then, alright. Oh, 3 cars, blue sick, blue black. I've spent the last few minutes trying to find the sheet of today's problems. It seems that I've lost it. Well, firstly, let's talk about going out and trying to remember what happened. So firstly, there was a grey car, I think it was tied over a drain cover, I can't remember. When I got to the road, there was a black and blue car and a motorbike tied to an erection. Somerset Waste Partnership. Black knife-shaped car comes my way, and then blue car. Someone's playing a tune in their car, and it's got Tony Blair, the politician, who was for the Labour Party over 15 years ago, whenever it was he was last in power, and it's got him saying what we must do is we must destroy it, we must kill him, or something like that. And another politician saying, I don't know if it's the same politician, I wasn't taking much notice, I was trying to work out what was being said rather than that, saying quite simply, the king is dead. And then they repeat it, so the king is dead, the king is dead, the king is dead, like that. And it's some sort of well, actually I don't know what track it is. It's possible hip-hop or some form of pop tune that's got that added in it. Right, I've got to redo some recordings because I've fucking lost them. I don't know how that's happened. I pushed the wrong button on the thing and it's fucked up. So, I think I've mentioned the problems at home, the animal voice sounds and the loud bikes to erections. But then again, it wasn't really that bad at home. So let's get kicking off going out, shall we? So firstly I'll go out. Grey car over drain cover, black knife-shaped car at me, black and blue timed, and penis shoots up some motorbike timed. Then someone is playing some music in the car and has got Tony Blair saying, what we must do is we must destroy him, we must destroy it, or something like that. And another section of Tony Blair's speech from the Labour Party from years ago is where he says, quite simply, the king is dead. And then the way they did it, or the way they put it in the song, is to say, and the king is dead, the king is dead, the king is dead, the king is, like that. And then obviously there's 400 cars stopping me cross. Most cars are black and blue, sick white, knife shaped, gun shaped and whatever. There's a rent-a-kill van in the midst of that, smash you to pieces rubble flatbed lorry, and someone wearing a knife down black gothic jumper, which is like in bloody red writing and black top. See you next life, trash cowboy. Smash. No, is it? I meant ripping you to pieces paper. That's right, ripping you to pieces paper shredder van. They haven't timed the just-in-time van at the moment though. Another rent-a-kill van. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. Out of those 400 vehicles, Bradford's vehicle. They timed a car saying Sadie on the side of it, trying to imply that I've had sex or raped Sadie Dando when I've never fucked her. Then you had some more black and blue, sick white, drain covers it over, and eventually I managed to get past the first section. As I get in the second section, I'm sneezed at timed, so 2 people sneeze at me. 2 rough people pass me, threatening to smash me in, saying I'll fucking beat him up, I'll fucking take him out and put him on the fucking floor, fucking child rapist, Savannah has said. Quite literally after another person crosses the road, he's stuck where I am because he can't cross because it's busy on the other side, on the road that I just crossed, and he's threatened to fucking smash me out, saying that my name is Justin and he's right there, but he says I'll break all your fucking fingers off, you're a guitar player and you fucking rape children and you're fucking being beaten, so you fucking wait. So when the darker nights come, I'm going to go out and I'm going to fucking have you at knife point and fucking take your fucking life away, you sick cunt. So he said that. Then a seagull goes ha 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 in the sky. Right, so while trying to cross the next section, firstly there's about 30 to 40 cars that stopping me cross, mostly in black and blue, sick white, and a couple of yellow cars, because obviously it's sunny today, it's sunny every day, it's blue skies and sunshine every day. And just to let you know, I got a hangover this morning as well, so I got a headache, because I had some vodka shots, because, quite simply, I've got nothing to look forward to any day, because every day's blue skies and sunshine, and it's sort of just suppressing weather. It's every day, 365 days a year, you just don't feel like you want to go out and do anything. You feel fucking suppressed, and it also brings the people out, because most people like the sun. But then again, cloudy days are busy these days, so it makes no difference, because I think people are getting the same idea. So, when I get past that, cross that road, there's 3 lots of teenage mothers, so 3 ladies, teenage single mothers, or one of them actually looked like she's only a child and a single mother, to be fair, like she's only about 13 pushing her baby. The one whose age that looks like she's only 13 said, "You're a fucking sad cunt, get out my way, don't fucking look at me or whatever, or walk into me," and I wasn't even looking at her. I saw her by a glimpse, yeah, because I had to look where I was going to see what was in front of me. The other 2 teenage mothers, one gave me an evil look, and believe it or not, the other one, that's a single mother pushing a chair in my direction, who's aged about 16 to 18, said I'd get my husband to fucking smash your fucking teeth in, you fucking sick cunt. And you said you haven't fucking seen the build of him, he goes to the gym every day, and saying stuff like that. When I get past that, a crow goes ha ha ha. Then there's black and blue cars and drain covers hit over. Granny on a Zimmer frame comes across at me, and there's a person my way trying to sneeze in my direction. As I turn around to avoid the sneeze, there's a car with an overhanging trailer trying to rip my legs off. So I stay on the path, I'm still walking that direction, and someone else sneezes in my direction, walking from behind into my direction. So I go back in the direction of where I sneezed at initially, because that's the only way you can go, because there's a wall the other side stopping you to go the other way. So I get around the next section, and there's just a queue of traffic. I didn't really take much notice of what the traffic was, but there's black and blue cars in the mints and whatever, and sexual, red, white. And then on the corner, someone is trying to sneeze in my face, and then there's 4 people on their phones in my direction. There's another 2 people that cross the road into my direction, giving me threats, mistaking me as Savannah, saying that I can have my life and being shot while photographing me. Then there's another 2 people that come in my direction, threatening to smash me out, say I'll fucking have him now, I'll fucking mess about, he's a fucking that sick cunt, and saying that's Justin, alright, and saying they're getting him, it's not Savannah, and saying stuff like that, getting me muddled up, saying I'll break his fucking fingers off, and I'll fucking smash his fucking brains out on that fucking path, I'll put him in a hospital bed, getting nasty like that. And take into account, I'm already feeling ill because I've got a headache, because I've got a hangover, because I had vodka last night, because I'm getting pissed off at drinking the same drink, looking forward to a fucking crappy sunny day every day, where it's not exactly impressive to go out in. So, when I get around the next page, next part, there was, no, I've forgotten what the next bit is, because I haven't got the paper on me, because I lost that piece of paper. I'll try and find it when I walk back later, it's probably on the path somewhere. Actually, I can't remember the rest of the problems in that area. While crossing to go over the bridge towards Barrack and Stowford, initially there's an overhanging trailer trying to rip my legs off, and a couple of vehicles trying to collide with me. Another Sadie car, so they're trying to make the suggestion I've raped Sadie when I haven't. Grey, white, black, grey, white, black and blue sick. Bradford's lorry again. Another Sadie car. I couldn't remember the first two letters on the van, but it had a Dando van, which is a grey van and black writing, and that's exactly the surname of Sadie. Then we're going to the next sheet. You're a paedophile, just Bo whistled. More whistling. Child molester, vegetable, Bo whistled. Being beat up, knife dead, fucking rapist, Bo whistled. Sick cunt, knife dead, Bo whistled. Molested Sadie, shot dead. Child molester, Bo whistled. There's a whistle to tell me to fuck someone that raped me as a child, but there's also another whistle to tell me to fuck a name, but I won't give the name, which are two separate whistles. Sick cunt Justin being burgled, Bo whistled. Catalytic converter setup, so I'm choked by catalyst, which is site I forgot to mention, and drain covers hit over, and that was occurring before this as well, by the way. Shot dead Justin, you paedophile, raped her, Bo whistled. Several other things like this, Bo whistled, and then Somerset Waste Partnership. Penis shoots up to 9 times loud bike, time to sexual impulses in my willy, time to an erection. Choked by catalytic converter, blue sick, blue, catalytic converter hot point. So yeah, every time I go to that catalytic converter hot point, they need to time fucking cars now, in both directions, like it used to be. So they're starting that again, and then basically that takes you to where I am now. Might be another recording I've accidentally deleted off here. I do recall deleting a recording, I can't remember which one it is, but hopefully most of it's on here. Right, I've just had to put water in my eyes to get rid of 3 little flies that have gone in my eye, because we've got all these flies coming out everywhere, all the little gnats or whatever you want to call them. Farmers in Somerset used to plant sweet corn roughly between, in the sort of month of about April, sometimes May, where the person that's grown sweet corn in the field that is next to me, where I'm walking down, was actually grown in June. And to me it looks like it's ready, already, and we're only in September. Now obviously that's probably a near enough time period to say that it can grow in that time period, but it just seems rather quicker than it usually grows, I've noticed. Right, let's talk about the weather, because last night I was going through the details of the weather, because a lot of it, as I've actually forgotten, there are actually more days than I thought that were cloudy, or to some extent cloudy, in the year 2022 than I first anticipated or thought. And I did state, you know, that it was a very sunny year, but when you compare it to 2023 and 2024, it does look like 2024, which is this year, has actually been sunnier than 2023. 2023 was sunnier than 2022. In 2022 it was mostly rainstorms followed by sunshine and a very sunny year. But I did note on the word pad, or the page that I was stating it on, that in the evenings when I was going to Barrack, although it was sunny most times, there was a lot of sort of hazy or some form of cloud that was covering the sun at times, with the occasional rainstorm here and there. So it looks like 2022 was actually quite a dull year compared to 2023 and 2024. But with 2024, it appears to have a lot of cloud around, but every time I go out, or everywhere I go, all these clouds are missing me out of every single cloud in the sky, like it was in 2023. And obviously you know about the law and curse, because I mention it all the time. This is a painting of a sexy lady that is coming out of the sky with a sexual pose on her face, to imply that she's giving sex to someone who's being cursed with the sun all the time. But probably applying that as someone who loves the sunshine and is going to get a bonus and be cursed with sex because it's getting the sun all the time. But the problem is I don't like the sunshine, and I'm being cursed with the sunshine and being violated, with suggestions to twist that specific well-known painting to apply that it's going to suggest somebody different, like someone who raped me as a child, or to tell me that there's no sex. So they're playing nasty about it. So anyway, I'll just quickly give you an idea of what this painting is, in case you don't already know. You should do if you've gone on my other videos. But she's a sexual woman smooth skin that's got her legs behind the cloud, and she's got her hand out making sexual pose with her body, and out of her hand the sunshine's coming up and it's being shone down on this person that's walking down a track in a woodland area. This chap that's walking down a woodland area has a similar face to my own face from a side angle, but not a portrait view. And he's holding a torch in one hand, he's got a notepad in the other hand, and obviously he's wearing a backpack. The rest of the picture's all cloudy and rainy, and I think if I remember in the back of the picture there's like a cloud that's showing a lightning strike, or 2 lightning strikes. And it's got like a farmhouse, sort of, well I wouldn't say farmhouse, maybe huts or sheds or whatever in the background on the picture, and basically just showing that this person is being cursed with the sunshine with a sexual curse. Now I saw this picture in 2015-2016 on the internet, but I didn't take much notice of it. All I discovered is it looks like Lauren at that time. And she's got someone, and the person she's with is someone who's threatened to smash me out in the past thinking I'm Savannah. She turned against me in the earliest days of when she started she knew that I needed sex and not had sex in my whole life, and saw my CD cover and was trying to apply that I'll give you sex. But it wasn't until the following time that I sort of clicked onto that. But every time, ever since that time, every time I passed her, there's rough people in my direction, and now she thinks I'm Savannah or Liam or whatever, and she's turned against me, and she's got in a relationship with someone, and she's got 2 ginger haired boys, and I'm also looked at nastily if she sees me. So that's the end of that. But it doesn't really 100% look like Lauren. The picture's very similar to Lauren. It looks more towards Julia. Julia is a person I knew at sort of school, but then again, it doesn't really look. It does look like her, but more. She had fair hair. This is making more of a suggestion of like darker hair, sort of. Julia, sort of a suggestion. Difficult to explain. But anyway, I'm being cursed with that painting, and I don't like the sunshine. And when I went to purchase it I didn't purchase it. I saw it in Martok at Yandles in the card shop there. That has been produced on a massive sold card on a big scale. So it could be in any card shop in the UK. It might still be, in fact. So I went to look at it. I didn't take much notice of it. I thought to myself, I've seen this before. It was a hot sunny day. I've just felt like getting the bus home because it's the last bus I needed to get. There's only about 10 minutes before I got there, so I got next to the bus stop and I realised that I should have picked up that picture, or I should have at least photographed it. And then I remembered all the details, and I was about to walk back and I realised there's no time to do that. When I eventually went to go back, it took some time before I could get back because they were packing the bus to stop me get there to go back and get it. So the lady did tell me who the painting was by, and it's a longish name, the first name, but not. So I'd say I can't remember how many words it was long, but if I was to say 6 or 7, and the second name is pretty long as well. She said it's a localish artist, but it's a well-known artist. So right, so that's one thing. I lost that piece of paper, and when I went there a few months later I was being insulted as Savannah, being told I'm a sick cunt with remarks behind my face. And when I asked the same lady again for that person's name who painted that picture, she said I don't know, and sort of being a bit offish as well when they were speaking to me, and then I just walked out. So I looked in other card shops. So it looks like they need to take it off the internet and need to take it out of the card shops because they know they've messed up when it comes to sexuality regarding me. So that's the end of that. But the curse is still continuing. They still want to mess about with the weather, causing it to be sunny and blue skies where I am, yet cloudy and rainy everywhere else, or for other people. So they're doing it in a spiteful way, violating me with a sexual curse when I'm not going to get the sex. And obviously, a lady that your age is not going to be easy to be accepted by when I'm 43, and they're not taking that into account. They just want to fucking play fucking silly buggers and fuck about with stupid paintings, to take the piss out of me, to insult me, and to violate me, and to be a nasty little bastard causing the weather to change over me all the time, which is fucking up many pictures and causing me to feel really fucking low and suppressed, where they need to cause it to be sexy weather every day around me. Just to let you know, I've forgotten my phone today, so I can't actually phone up anybody to actually find out what the weather is like there. But I did find out what the weather was in that area yesterday, of the 2 people that I phoned up. For one person it was cloudy with no sunshine at all, and the other person there was some cloud and a lot of sunshine, but where I was there was 0 seconds of cloud cover for the whole day. Yesterday I was at Norton Southampton, which is the first time I've been there for a couple of months, because it's not a regular route I go, because people were starting on me at a time period, mistaking me as Savenne, and I wasn't in the mood for being started on, and I was getting bored of doing that route. Well, I found out that while it was sunny where I was, it was actually a 30-minute rainstorm that was quite heavy in Yeovil, where I lived, which is why this path I'm walking down looks a bit different than normal, but it only lasted 30 minutes. All in all, they told me it was sort of half cloudy and half sunny. Where I was, like I said, there was no cloud whatsoever. You had lots of cloud in the sky, but they were causing that cloud to be moved about in a way where it does not cover that sun where I am. Not a single cloud cover. There was about maybe 4 seconds where it went into hazy sunshine, and that was at a time I was taking a picture of a setup. Take that away, I don't think there was any cloud cover for the whole of yesterday. It's just blue skies and sunshine. There was only 15 seconds the day before, and even on the day before, when I phoned up other people, they were telling me they've had some cloud, yes. With me, it's 15 seconds maximum. And then before that time, you have more cloudier days, but where everybody were getting cloudy weather for the whole day, I was only getting just under a quarter of a day of cloudy weather for that sort of time period of then. And there's people coming, so I got to stop the recording. Well, I went to go past onto the road, but it looks like they're setting the traffic up too heavy for me to go there. I mean, it's not heavy, but it's a country lane, and when you're trying to eat at the same time while being choked out by a catalytic converter, it means they've diverted me back into the direction I was initially in. So I've got to eat first before I can go anywhere. Right, so trying to eat, what it means that I have to have a piece taken out my mouth by a stick going in my mouth as I walk past an overgrown branch, and also I've had flies going in my mouth, causing me to have to spit out the other piece that I tried to eat of the seafood sticks I'm eating, because I just had like chorizo mixed with cheese, and now I'm on that. And then I got a Kit Kat, and then I got a chocolate drink. Right, so a bird's been tweeting saying that Stephanie Hill split up and fell out. Well, I've never been with her, so I don't know why that's being said. It might be worth mentioning that when I came up here in September 2022, it was sunny, but the sun was duller than what it is now. And I don't know if it's because the sun's brighter this year or the year before, but I do recall the sun being slightly dimmer, though it wasn't great, because no sunny days are great. When you had proper dull sunshine was when that sun was an orangey yellow colour, but today it's obliterated white colour. But you did have some form of lower light levels in the sun in September 2022. Or it could have been there was a bit of cloud around, or it could have been because I was coming up in the evenings mostly rather than in the day. I can't really remember. I do remember walking back in the evenings on quite a few occasions. And it's quite nice, even though it's sunny, and that sunny weather is making it very suppressing. You did have cloud cover, you did have some form of cloud cover in 2022, although most days were torrential rainstorms. So, I was moaning, I really was moaning about 2022. I was actually speaking to people, going back to that year, saying, this is probably one of the sunniest years I've ever known. Alongside 2017 area, I can't remember what it was, 2017 or 2018. It was a year they grew the sunflowers in the apex at Highbridge near Burnham-on-Sea. Again, there was only, 2 or 3 rainy days in 6 months. And it wasn't until November they clouded over. And then even in the winter of that year, when you came to December and January of the following year and February of the following year, most days were sunny. So it's been a very, very sunny decade. So, but even before that decade, or even, sort of 12, 13 years ago or before, I was trying to take pictures of old streetlights and I couldn't do it because they kept on timing the sun to come out every time I reached an old-fashioned derelict sort of streetlight, or an old Victorian or Edwardian streetlight, or, you know, like the mercury vapour white glowing streetlights, or the carbon arc. I've never even managed to get a picture of the carbon arc one. The old gas lamps again. The very rare times when you can take a picture of them, the sun comes out and it makes the picture look awful. It's alright for the light-headed type people that are into like the posher types of pictures, or the ones that you get on these posh magazines like Hotel Balconies, where they're advertising really rich holidays for the rich or the well-off and charge a lot for them. It's alright if you're into the sunny weather and that sort of, you know, but when it's for my sort of pictures, you need a different type of light for them. And also you've got the low pressure sodium street lights. They had some nice 1940s to 1970s ones in my mum's area, but they'd taken them all down. And in the time period I was visiting, trying to take these pictures, they were causing the sun to come out. Although you had some form of cloud in the earlier days when I was taking pictures, I wasn't taking them so frequently because I was a bit embarrassed about taking them in case people were thinking what I was doing, and sort of I wanted to keep my reputation in that area. But regardless of keeping your reputation, it doesn't bloody matter anymore, because wherever you go, everyone's a piece of shit today. So, you know, it's like that. So I wish I took them, but, you know, I wasn't getting threats in those days either. Well, I was getting threats, but they were under my name, and it's mostly in Bridgewater and Somerset, nowhere else. But nowadays it's everywhere, and I'm mistaken as whoever everywhere, you know, like this Sven or Liam. So, and another type of light I like taking pictures of is lighthouses, and they keep on making it sunny when I go to these sorts of places, although there's not many lighthouses I've been to apart from mostly Portland. And you've got the Burnham Lighthouse. But then again, I've already got to manage to get a picture on a cloudy day because I live there, so I did get a cloudy day picture of that one. 2015 was the last year where I recall I was enjoying the weather and I wasn't getting too many problems. I mean, it was sunny the very first day I moved to Burnham-on-Sea, and the tide was in, and I really enjoyed that. It's like, although it was a very bright sun, it just had a nice, quaint atmosphere. You would think to yourself, your life's going to get better. The support worker and social worker thought my life's going to get better. They had good hope, saying you're going to get that girlfriend, and saying I guarantee that will happen. You're going to change, and they discharged me. So they discharged me altogether. I didn't need to take medication, they didn't need to give me medication. They didn't need to see me. They discharged me. They thought my life was going to get better. But what happened is things started to kick off after 8 months. So basically 8 months of no threats. It's probably the longest time period for about 20 years where I haven't had threats, or more than 20 years. And there's like 8 months of no threats at all. Maybe the occasional person shouting at the just-in-time van, but the person who was driving that just-in-time van, which is a separate just-in-time van to the one I mentioned with this double bell alarm clock being smashed, as that's a different van, where the glass was smashed through the window of the just-in-time van, and people didn't like that specific van, so whoever that belonged to, that no longer was parked outside my place. And then obviously I saw my ex-mugger a couple of times, but they were in situations where there wasn't any trouble, and he just sort of sees me on the bus, he gets off the bus, or he sits in a different area, and there's no problems. However, just before I moved, I did experience a change. And then there's obviously the plastic glove being worn, and snake t-shirt, which is making me suspicious that there might be some venom that's being carried on this person, or look like to this person, when I was camping in September 2023, when it's 30 degrees Celsius outside, basically on this day, or around this day, last year, because I had appointments to go to and I couldn't stay at my place because of the heat wave and whatever else. I'm also into taking pictures of the old lanterns, the Tilly lamps, the old pressure lanterns, the old hurricane type Tillys, you know, the storm lanterns, the paraffin ones or the kerosene ones, and you can also, I do like the oil lamps as well. I like old vintage candles. You you know, general like old lighting in general, I just like old lighting, and this is why the elite or the government want to change all the lighting to modern lighting. So all the wick type of lanterns, they stop making wick, they stop making the lanterns, so you can't have a kerosene lantern anymore. All you can have is an LED lantern. All the light bulbs, the incandescent light bulbs, you can't have them. They were all ended in 2014, 2015 area. They weren't allowed to sell them after that. The only bulbs you can have now are LED, which gives a cold light rather than the warmth to it when you've got the original mantle or the original element inside the, you know, the tungsten filament. You know, it's, I much prefer the older lighting. However, it is very expensive to use when you compare the price of electric today, so it would work out cheaper to have cold lighting. But, you know, people that are into the subject of old lighting, they can't have it anymore because everything has to be more modernised. They want to get all the latest thing I heard is they want to try and get all churches to update their lighting, take every old lighting down. So whether it's a nice Victorian chandelier or a nice 19 or 1800 chandelier or whatever, you know, candle chandelier, they've all got to be taken down for health and safety reasons. They're looking into it, something or other that it says on the internet. And also the tops of lighthouses, or in lighthouses, they've got to update their lighthouses, the Fresnel lens in the shape of their lighthouse. You know, they're just trying to do away with old lighting, and I don't know why that is. They've already done away with my music, all the old school jungle stuff. I mentioned this on a conspiracy the other day. It might have been yesterday, I can't remember. There's many tracks that I've lost. Because when they reissue my music, firstly, they've got to take it from a record because they no longer have the original recordings, because they went back in the day, you know, in the 90s. Because what happens is, once a DJ's made the track, or producers made the track, their post their dat, and once it's on record, they give a toss about their recording. They know they made their money, because most of these producers that make this music don't actually like the music. They're only making it for the people. So when they make a really good sounding tune, they don't give a shit about it. All they're interested in is the money, and they probably listen to different music anyway. They probably play at gigs, you know, playing at raves or whatever, drum and bass or jungle or hardcore or techno or whatever. But in reality, they probably listen to something like a guitar band or pop music or something like that, you know. But, you know, as long as they make their money, they can pretend to do what they like, you know. Probably over time, some of them actually do like it, you know, who've actually never liked it before, but produce this sort of music to make money on it. And there's probably those who actually like that music in general, who produce that music. But you do have those, back in the early days of when they were initially making this sort of music, who don't really like that sort of music at all. They're doing it for the money. And being told to make that sort of music, and you know, if they're going to get paid for it, they're going to do that. But anyway, a lot of the recordings are gone. And like I said, when they reissue my music, they have to take it from a record. But it gets even better, because the restricted stuff, or the stuff that's mostly on the B-side of a record, or the more underground stuff, they're not allowed to reissue at all. So those tracks are lost. And when you take into account that the place where I had my stuff stored got burgled in March of 2024, which contained everything, blank M discs, family documentation, clothes, a few appliances or whatever, you name it, I was hitting the fucking roof. And it didn't get any better, because at the time that occurred, everything was kicking off. People were starting on me, threatening to bash my fucking head in and all the rest of it. All the setups were stepped up to tell me I'm a sick bastard, not having sex, told I'm supposed to fancy a granny when I've not had anyone in my whole life. You name it. It was just out of fucking hand. And also the time and lookalikes to people who sexually abused me as a child, times or an erection, and telling me to up the fucking age and telling me I'm a sick bastard when I've not had sex in my whole life. Then you've got people that are in their teens, 20s and 30s telling me I'm a sick bastard, and yet they're in a sexual relationship with a smooth-skinned lady, and yet I'm told I'm a sick cunt if I look at anyone that they're with, basically, or even older than what they're with. So, you know, it takes a piss, but, you know, that's what's happened. But the problem is, I've even lost a lot of my music at my old place, because what happened was, whatever was causing gritty eyes at my old place, and I had to camp because of it, was buggering up CDs, wiping hard drives. But the latest problem I got is my MP3 player broke last night, which cost me 70 quid off of eBay. So I've just had to pay that again to get another one back, and I don't have the top, so I can't send it back. which is the piece where you put the cap on the USB part. And also, I got £200 out of the bank, and I left my pocket open, and I've lost that somewhere as well, which I'm not very fucking happy about. So at the moment, I'm just being robbed and having piss taken at me, and I'm not in a very happy mood about that. I forgot to mention that yesterday, the £200. But yeah, it appears that I've lost it, because I had to go back and search my place before I actually documented to confirm it. So I had to. So what I do now is I've had to take just like a little bit of money out at a time. That's all I can do now, because obviously my pockets are just throwing my money everywhere, so I'm getting a bit pissed off at it. And I'm also not, if we go back a week or so ago, but because of all the issues and expenses and the problems I've had in the last week, I'm actually down to the lowest amount of money that I've had in my bank since 2022, I think it is. So not in a bestest of moods at the moment. What's made the expense of those M discs go up in price is not only did I buy them back when I moved to Thorn House in Yeovil, but the spare ones I had, this is before the later ones I rebought, went into a place where in a garage to store it, where it got burgled. I already wasted in today's money of what they cost today, 1,300 or 400 quid. So 1,300 or 1,400 quid, where banging from Matty when he was there was messing up the discs back at that time. And obviously I can't do discs anymore because like I said, I don't have any discs and I'm low on money, and I've got to wait to build the money back up before I can start buying all this again. So everything's bad. And even if we go back to 2022, money packs have been stolen from my place. The wires have been cut on the digital audio recording devices with the microphone hanging out on the outside of the window. But when I later had a discussion with the staff about that, they think it's where the cleaners have accidentally broken it off with this brush when they're cleaning the windows, which is a possibility. And the other thing I wanted to mention is, when I first moved there, it was the first of the hot weather coming into 2022. It was in April, and it was 30 degrees in my room, so Helen went in when I was out, and she opened all the windows and tried to turn the heating off. She didn't realise my records were laying against the radiator, so she was only trying to help. So she tried to make it cool, and she accidentally turned the heating on. It cost me a lot of money. In today's value, that'd be over £1,000, well over £1,000 in records. What was damaged, which included Legendary Volume 3, Leon Guan's Too Deep and Leon Tango Solutions. It also included Legendary Volume 1, which has Q Projects, Deep Concentration, and Guanj and Spinback, The Execution. I also had a Rev P 1994, which has Rhythm Process on the other side. Not keen on Rhythm Process, but I like 1994, which is on Imp 20022 record, which you can't get. You have Pesce World of Music, Infrared Records, the original purple colour record with like reddish lines across it in a circular way, kind of. You had Aim and Reprise on that one, where the repress doesn't. And there's a few issues on the repress as well. I also lost the Anthill Mob 123 Adrian Blunt remix on Underdog Recordings. The Alliance First Impressions, which is Reinforced Records, but is also on Legend Records. Because there's two issues. There's the Enforcers 6 repress, and there's the original acetate, which is the 10-inch on Legend. I've lost Making Ground, Take Me Higher, Raggo Mix, which is Rupert Park's track, which is also known as Votech, and he's also goes by the allies of Studio Pressure as well, and did a lot on Certificate 18, but this specific one was on Rude Boy Recordings, and it's the one that's well known for being the track that sounds like a tap dripping, that goes ow, 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 dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So it's that track. Top Buzz played it on a lot of his rave mixes or jungle mixes back in 1994. The other record that I lost was Nut E1 off the Nut EP, and I was very annoyed by that because I paid a lot of money for that one, which is a mint unplayed record, and that includes Underwater Fireworks and Liquid Affray, which are really good jungle tracks. Whatever's were there. Intense Paradox, which is on Rugged 7 from Rugged Vinyl Recordings, which is part of Good Looking Records, I think. And obviously that had Journey to the Unknown, which is also a good track, but it's not one of my favourites. You had Intense to Quickening on there. And then obviously I had another Intense one, which is called Intense to Genesis Project. However, when it comes to that specific EP, I do prefer when it comes to that specific track, Intense to Genesis Project, I do prefer the CD version, which is on a CD called On a Jazz Tip, Drum and Bass Sessions, Cartel Records. It's the first track on CD1. Now it's about 7 minutes long, or just over 7 minutes. And the one on the record's 6 minutes and something or other. I do prefer the CD version when it comes to that specific track, but I do like Intense, The Dreamer, but the most important track on there that I like is Intense Time Space Continuum. And then obviously the dope remix of The Quickening is also quite a good track. Mental Power, Unknown Intelligence, which is on Control EP, which has 2 other tracks on there. One's called Dream Sequence and the other's called Cool and Sexy. That's another record that got warped, unfortunately. But you've got to take into account that I was out for a long time and when she turned it on, and she didn't realise that she left the left the heating on full, and eventually, being left on for hours, it warped all the records. I had to chuck them all out, to buy them back. You're looking at about, probably in today's price, because they're going up so rapidly, it might even be £2,000, so I've lost all that. I mean, the money packet I lost initially was one that I had to buy all the stuff like washing machines, tumble dryers, all prepared for when I moved, because I didn't know whether it's going to be unfurnished, furnished or whatever. And I sort of had a £1,000 money pack, and that £1,000 money pack is what got stolen. And then obviously we've got other things that have occurred as well, so but yeah, not good. Not only back at that time did we have issues, but you've got to take into account that I don't get as much money as I used to get either. And there's also putting something on hold. They've done this for 2 years. They're introducing where you have to pay literally near enough all your benefits to pay for support in supported housing. So it's coming very close. This is the last year they're going to keep it on hold. So when we go into next year, if they don't move me, or the council can't get me a different place, then, or I'm not accepted and I'm still there, I lose all my money. I'll have hardly nothing, and there's nothing I can do about it. But the problem is, I've been on gold banding for a couple of years and they're not moving me. And when I'm bidding on these places, even a bed set, they're not allowing me to move. They're just saying that you're not prioritised, rejected, or someone else is being considered, or basically not prioritised, or whatever it is I said. There we are. As what happened earlier, you need to time a car at this end, not just the other end, but this end now, every time I reach here. I just want to mention that when I was living in Bridgewater, what was I going to say? I was never buying anything. I was literally, all the money I was getting was going on dating sites or paying to see if I can find a partner. And then obviously we had that trip in 2015 where my mum took me to London and to go to this dating agency, but they could only find me one of those really ugly types of females who was a single mother, and there was nobody else basically. And they were moaning about age gaps, even just a 5-year age gap, which I've mentioned many times on these recordings. I'm told I'm a sick cunt if I go with anyone 10 years older than someone who sexually abused me as a child at the age they would have been at the time they sexually abused me as a child, and even 15 years older. So they're moaning like that. I'm known as a sick cunt if I was to ask anyone who is 5 years older than the age Jesus Christ was when he was crucified, let alone when he was in a sexual relationship with Mary Magdalene. I'm known as a sick cunt, not only by people the age Jesus Christ was when he was crucified, but 5 years on top of that, and I haven't had sex in my whole life. If we go back to a clairvoyant reading I had going back possibly 20 years ago now, I was told that in my previous life I was a young female in my early 20s that died tragically. I was stopped from getting anyone, so they basically, she said it in that term near enough, saying that they stopped me from getting a partner. It was like I was controlled or was in authority where I couldn't have anybody, or they stopped me getting anyone, or there was no one that liked me. And they were saying that I was sexually abused as a child in my last life, and saying that this life's going to turn out much better. But quite literally, not long after that reading, my life got 50 times worse, because this goes back in the early days of when I moved to West Street in Bridgewater, before I moved to Burnham and then moved to Yeovil. And then obviously in this life it's happened again if I don't find anybody. And then obviously when I'm born in my next life, like setups are suggesting with this organised force, I'm going to be sexually abused as a child yet again. So that'd be 3 lives of blue sexual murder committed on me. Yet 99.9% of all problems I get in my life, or people starting on me, is also sexuality. So it's not a good mix, is it? It's not a good fucking mix. So you know, there's nothing you can do about it. So, and the setups and the construction force that's being rigged up around me is all on sexuality, the whole lot. Nearly every police arrest, basically every police arrest, it comes back to sexuality. Every problem in my life, the use of radiation, the eye problem I had at my old place from energy weapons or whatever, it all goes back to sexuality. Everything is sexuality. All the threats I've had, the stones thrown at me as a kid, is all because of sexuality, the whole lot, right through my whole life. Right, it's not record breaking, but they are increasing the traffic than it usually is on this road. Right, it's worth mentioning, because this has happened over the last week in particular, is when they time a vehicle to say that it's sunny, such as, or a t-shirt, for example, sex in the sunshine, sex in the sun, sunbelt, enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the sex in the sunshine. So whenever they time something like that to occur in my direction, I've noticed that they're timing like a laughing armchair van. Now this laughing armchair is done in a way as to apply a posh person being boastfully thankful for something, but in a way where they're sort of happy, but in like a boastful way, if you get what I'm saying. So this laughing armchair van, they make it look like the chair is laughing, but in a sort of, I'm very grateful, I'm pleased, but in like a boastful, sort of posh sort of suggestion, where they've been timing that specific van every time the sun comes out, if you're lucky enough to get any cloud cover at all, especially in these sort of just under a quarter of a day cloudy, rainy days we have recently, or it just occurs in general on a sunny day, in most cases after one of those van names or t-shirt names that I just mentioned. But they like to time that grateful, boastful, laughing armchair van, or whatever you want to call it, so I thought I'd mention it. Right, so there's been 16 loud bikes tied to an erection in the last 10 minutes. Right, in the last 3 minutes there's been another 9 loud bikes to erections. I'm getting a bit pissed off of it. Right, the sneaky little bastards are tying 6 loud bikes while I'm going for a piss. Right, so right, let's get to the next lot of stuff. Right, so child molester, life's lost just inside. Bow whistles, spastic look with laser light beads said, penis up. And that's the second one. Yeah, loud bike. Right, so my Willie's been going up quite a few times over sexual motorbikes. So penis up initially to a loud bike, then same again, and then tractor with spike, choked by catalytic converter, black and blue, and then that bike. Right, so There's been a couple of black and blue cars. Venus up, another bike. And another one. Black car, Sexual, and grey. All our bikes to Itchy Bum Home directions. Forgotten what the other bits are. There's been a couple of more cars. General flow, I'm really writing it down. So yeah, that's it at the moment. Always I'm pushed to the other side of the road into the sunlight every time I go on this road now. So we have to let the cars on that side go past, which is white Sexual and black. And the other ones that are passed just before that, whatever they were. Right, so I cross back over and I have to time cars on that side again. They want me in the sun, the government want me in the sun. Right, going to the sun. Right, it's sunny, yeah, Sexual sun, Christ. Right, showed by Catalyst, about 50 cars, so 2 grey blue, grey red sick, white, grey Sexual, and white timed. And showed by Catalyst, and then there's more cars in that sort of pattern in black and blue. Right, so it's been about 500 cars. It's difficult to mention this, right, as people walking past without ruining reputation of the setups. Time to get busy car, murder jumper, cheering van, and yeah, van. Nice shaped canoe on a car roof, mistaken as Cevennes. Red car, blue, nice shape timed, and then about 500 cars in total, black and blue, red, white, sick, white, whatever. In the time period I try and cross, which takes 4 minutes. So obviously I'm back home, and obviously I mentioned I didn't have my phone when I went out earlier. Well, I can't find my phone back home, so I went to the staff office for them to phone me up to see if I can find it, and the phone switched off. Got gritty eyes, got a bit of burning, got loads of loud bikes to erections and animals telling me I'm a crap bastard and everything else. So the crater's just fucking fallen, I tell you that. The crater's absolutely fucking crest.